What is up, guys? This is Luke Hill for Kit Guru, and in this one we're looking at the newest addition to Corsair's lineup of premium memory, the Dominator Platinum RGB White Edition. Now, we already checked out the black edition of the Dominator Platinum RGB modules when Leo reviewed them last year, so make sure you head on over to that video and check it out for all the juicy details. And while you're at it, why not hit like on this video, subscribe to the Kit Guru channel, head on over to the Kit Guru website. That all really helps us out and make sure you're up to date as well. And you can check out our Patreon page and our cool merch store with cool t-shirts. But anyway, let's jump back into the Dominator Platinum RGB white modules. Put quite simply, these are the same as the Dominator Platinum RGB modules that already existed on the market, but they now have a white overall theme with gold trim, and they look, in my opinion, absolutely superb. So if we start off with the heat spreader, you can see that it's the same anodized aluminium heat spreader, but this time it's white, and I must say the white is very clean and very consistent. There's no patchiness, it's clean. I like it. It's kind of a matte finish. It's not overly reflective, and I personally quite like that, but of course that's individual preference. One thing you will note that is different between the white modules and the black modules is this text. So Corsair's not only changed the font of the text, but they've also changed the writing. So as opposed to saying Corsair previously on the Dominator Platinum RGB modules, it now says Dominator Platinum RGB. Another area where we see a key adjustment between the white modules and the black modules is in terms of the heat spreader and the heat fins themselves specifically. So now you have gold heat fins to fit in with the white and gold colour scheme, and these look very good. You can see the diffuser for the RGB lighting is between these gold heat fins, and realistically, even though they're heat fins, they're not going to do all that much cooling because this is DDR4, it doesn't get particularly hot, especially with a heat spreader of this bulk on there. They do, however, work well in hiding that diffuser and amplifying the RGB light beneath, so you can't really see the diffuser. It's actually very subtle, and I quite like this design. And then just adding to the premium touch that we expect from the Dominator Platinum RGB modules is Corsair's even gone to the extent of creating gold hex screws to fit the anodized aluminium heat spreader with the zinc alloy top bar. So these modules actually have a height of about 55 or 56 millimeters, which is absolutely massive as far as memory modules go. And this is, unsurprisingly, going to cause massive interference issues in terms of large dual tower air coolers or even AIO coolers if you're using them in a specific chassis. Anecdotally, we've actually used Dominator modules in a Fractal Meshify S2 case with a 280mm Corsair radiator mounted up in the roof. You mount that radiator in the roof and the fans, and you actually interfere with your RAM modules, and that's on a big Fractal case. Certainly going to cause many interference issues, so you will have to watch out for that. Realistically, the heat spreader is needlessly large, but this is part of the design appeal with the Dominator modules. In terms of lighting, we have 12 of Corsair's Capellix LEDs mounted on the Dominator Platinum RGB modules. These Capellix LEDs have all of the benefits that we've seen previously and we've discussed previously. They're smaller, they're brighter, they're more power efficient. They're overall just a fantastic solution. They're about 0.2 millimeters cubed in terms of volume, which is remarkably small, but the fact that they're small but brighter than conventional LEDs means that even though they're small, you can make up for it by adjusting the brightness high. They can be hidden very easily, and you can pulse out that light at a reasonable rate so that you can actually see the light coming out of it without need for a significant diffuser like we see on competing RGB memory modules. The control for the lighting actually runs through iCUE, which at this point is a very in-depth software suite. I actually quite like it. In terms of function, the kit that we have is actually a 4x8 gigabytes or 32 gigabyte kit. Obviously quad channel or dual channel depending on which platform you're using. This rated frequency is 3600 megahertz and it's 18, 19, 19, 39 timings, 1.35 volts. So 3600 is of course ideal for Zen 2, you get that 1800 megahertz 1-to-1 Infinity Fabric ratio. But the 18, 19, 19, 39 timings are actually a little bit looser than I would have liked for a premium memory kit. So we'll have to see how the performance fares. In terms of memory chips underneath the hood, then we actually see Micron E-die memory chips according to a specific reading software. And we know these are pretty good at running consistently and without hassle with Zen 2 based parts. So let's jump into the testing. If we have a look in iCUE here, we can see, actually let's just restart this so we can see exactly what's going on. So When you start up iCUE, you're met with the modules, you can click through, you can see the temperature. So they're running quite hot at the moment. The ambient's very hot in this room. You can see the temperature. We go into dim setup, and this is where you choose your layout. So we've got a 1x4 layout. You could do a 2x2 if you're running these in quad channel mode, a 2x2 quad channel, or you could do 2x4 if you're, for some reason, running them all to the left side of your quad channel motherboard. So I jump back to 1x4. And here what you can actually do is click on a memory module. So if I go into light and effect and, for example, dim 4, so I can see now which dim 4 is. So I can see on my motherboard which dim I've actually disabled the light of. I'm just going to re-enable dim 4 and I'm going to choose dim 3 because this is the one nearest the camera. So if I disable that light, I can now go across to dim setup and change the positioning of that light. So if, for example, I had disabled dim 3 in this case and the light went out for the leftmost module, I can change this along to the position of the leftmost module so that the RGB lighting, as it's jumping between the modules, is correctly positioned. Really good feature. If we go down to the timings page, what we can actually see is the current DRAM frequency and the current timings, and this is updated in real time. So for example, when I was doing some overclocking testing, you could see the timings change. This is quite useful. And then if we go down to graphing, we can see the temperature. And then if we go down to notifications, this is pretty cool actually. So for example, when the temperature value hits 70 degrees, you can increase the fan speed. If you use an iCUE to control your fans, you could trigger the RGBs to do, I don't know, red, for example. Or you can just do different things like shutting down the PC. So good functionality there. I'm going to jump back to the lighting effects now. And you can actually make your own lighting effects, so you can control them, you can copy them if you want to, so perhaps take them across to a different PC. What I'm going to do here is go through lighting link, and this is the one that links with the ASUS motherboard with Aura in our case, and you can just see the different lighting functionality that you have access to. So there's plenty of functionality here, or what I would perceive to be plenty here. You can get a rainbow, obviously this is all multicolor. You can change the speed, change the direction. If we go down to, for example, color wave, you can change the speed. You can choose random colors or specific colors if you have a preference. You can change the way in which they move. There's plenty of capability here. I like this temperature one. So for example, you can drive the color of the modules based on temperatures of different components. So for example, if your graphics card was heating up during gaming, you can have your RAM to signal that it's heating up, and that's very smart in my opinion. This is actually a good functional use of RGB as far as I'm concerned. Static colors if you prefer static color, like a bright white, for example. Of course, the ones I've shown so far, the lighting link, so they link with the ASUS Aura motherboard, and you can see that back here. What I'm going to do now actually is show, for example, if you want a static color just on the memory modules or multicolor just on the memory modules, you can control the individual LEDs. This is a really good feature. So for example, if I wanted to change one of the LEDs to be blue, and then if I wanted to change this one to be red, for example, I don't know, maybe your favorite football team colors you could put on there or something. You've got a pretty decent amount of functionality, since you got 1 to 12 granularity. That's not bad at all, actually. And then if you want to use Corsair's predefined modes, you can go down. They're very similar to the lighting link, but you get some slightly different ones. So for example, this sequential mode has changed the speed there. Just lights up the modules individually and sequentially. And then if you go down to, I don't know, marquee, for example, I don't even know what that does. But there's plenty of different modes. And if we go down to audio visualizer, what you can see is you can actually control the LEDs, so they will flash, as you will see, but this requires a Corsair audio product. So for example, if you've got a Corsair headset, you can have the LEDs on the RAM modules tracking basically whenever you're inputting audio through the headset. I would say that the iCUE control mechanism for the Dominator Platinum RGB modules is absolutely superb. You get plenty of functionality, you get some useful functionality, so temperature control, audio control, for example. You can synchronize with an ASUS motherboard using Aura. You get actually the ability to change the position in the modules. You can see the frequency and the timings. It really is superb as far as I'm concerned, and it integrates very well with the Corsair iCUE ecosystem. Very, very positive on this one. Our test system was based around the Ryzen 9 3950X processor, overclocked to 4.2 GHz. We use an ASUS ROG STRIX X570E gaming motherboard with the latest AGESA version. Graphics horsepower is from the Gigabyte Aorus RTX 2080 Ti XTREME. We use a Seasonic TX 1000 watt power supply. We got a WD Black SN750 OS SSD, and a Gigabyte Aorus 2TB SSD for speed and games testing. Comparison memory kits are the 2x16GB of Corsair Vengeance LPX DDR4 3600 16 18 18 36, and we've got a 4x8GB kit of G.Skill Trident Z RGB DDR4 3200 14 14 14 34. If you want further details about our test procedure and test system, check out the KitGuru website. Solid performance is shown in 7-zip. The compressing numbers from Corsair's Dominator Platinum RGB modules are just behind that of the tighter Vengeance LPX kit and better than our Trident Z RGB compressor. Decompressing is a slightly different picture, with the performance differences between each memory kit being somewhat insignificant. Blender runs well on the Micron-based Corsair Dominator modules, with their performance level matching that of the tighter Vengeance LPX sticks. Cinebench R20 NT also puts the Dominator modules close to the performance of the tighter latency Vengeance LPX comparison kit. The performance uplift over G.Skill's tight 3200MHz Samsung B-Die sticks is measurable and repeatable. Memory bandwidth from the Dominator Platinum RGB kit falls in line with DDR4 3600MHz expectations. The added bandwidth over 3200MHz sticks may be worthwhile in certain use cases. The exact same feedback holds true for Ada's memory bandwidth test, with both 3.6GHz memory kits offering an improvement over the 3200MHz memory and 1600MHz Infinity Fabric configuration. Latency performance of the 18, 19, 19, 39 Dominator Platinum RGB kit cannot match the tighter Vengeance LPX modules, unsurprisingly. The higher frequency of Corsair's white modules does, however, help alleviate some of the timing's benefits of our Trident Z comparison to deliver better latency results for Corsair. There's a little performance difference between the premium Dominator kit and the tighter Vengeance LPX modules in 3D Mark. That same feedback holds true in the Division 2, with each memory kit offering roughly the same performance, aside from margin of error factors. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, however, is more sensitive to memory settings and rewards the Dominator Platinum RGB kit with higher performance than a 3200MHz C14 competitor. The penalization for the Dominator kit, however, comes in the form of lower performance compared to the 3600 C16 Vengeance LPX competition. As a note on overclocking, we managed a quick and dirty, shall we say, 4000MHz using the stock timings, and this was with quite an aggressive voltage bump up to about 1.5 volts. Not that I would recommend running that voltage 24/7, we just wanted to see what the modules could do. Alternatively, if you're more interested in tighter timings, we ran the stock rated 3600MHz frequency and actually squeezed the timings down to 16, 17, 17, 36, and that was just a quick test. We didn't really push any harder, but 3600 C16 from the Micron E-Die, again, that's pretty good to see as well. I think there's probably more overclocking headroom in there, but the mileage will vary, and of course it's going to depend on whether you're using an AMD chip with the IMC there or an Intel chip with the IMC there. So if we summarize, the performance from the Dominator Platinum RGB memory modules in our 4x8 configuration with 3600, 18, 19, 19, 39 timings was pretty good overall. The Micron E-Die chips worked well with Zen 2, we had no real compatibility issues. Of course, the performance is not quite up to the spec of the 3600 C16 memory modules that we competed against. However, you do get a notable performance boost versus the 3200 CL14 Samsung B-Die based G.Skill modules that we also tested. So that's good to see, and of course that Infinity Fabric divider on AMD, the 3600 frequency, is very beneficial. Aside from performance, it's pretty clear that this is a showpiece memory kit. They are not your average run-of-the-mill commodity memory modules. They're a showpiece for when you've already spent a lot of money in providing premium hardware elsewhere and you just want a fantastic looking kit of memory that is ultra premium and very well built. In the area of overall design, I have zero criticism to feed back to Corsair. Quite literally zero criticism. I guess I could argue that the height of the modules is needlessly tall and it's going to cause interference in certain scenarios, but realistically, you know what you're getting with Dominator. That's always been the case, so you just have to account for that when choosing your CPU cooler and chassis. The anodized aluminium heat spreader is fantastic. It feels great. It looks premium. It's got a certain heft to it that feels like a premium product that you're actually spending your money on. The zinc alloy top bar just looks great. The diffusion from the Capellix LEDs is superb, and the gold accents, I love the styling. Of course, this is all subjective and individual preference, but in my opinion, I really struggle to see what Corsair could have done to improve the design and the styling in this module. They are pretty much perfect, as far as I'm concerned. And then we get to the price, and this is where I'm going to feed back to Corsair. At about £285 for the 4x8 gig kit at these timings and frequencies, so 3600, 18, 19, 19, 39, that is really expensive. A kit with similar specifications from, say, Crucial or Team Group will cost you about, say, £60 to £100 less, and that's a significant saving. But undeniably, those competing modules are nowhere near as premium in terms of design and styling as the Dominator Platinum RGB modules. So by that logic, the most reasonable comparison actually comes from G.Skill Trident Z Royal, and they are equally premium in terms of design and styling. I'd actually choose the Corsair Dominator Platinum RGB over the Trident Z Royal, in my opinion, but again, this is down to subjective preference. When we compare the pricing, then those G.Skill modules are certainly very expensive, if you can even find them. So clearly, there is a premium charged for a high performance, high spec, well-styled, premium-looking set of memory. I guess the point I would put there is, will an average user be better off spending the, say, £100 they could save by going for Vengeance RGB or Vengeance LPX or competing modules if they took that £100 and spent it on a better graphics card or a better processor or an SSD? Is that going to give them better performance? And is it going to be a sensible thing to do? Yes. For an average user, that is certainly a sensible thing to do. However, for a user who is a hardened enthusiast, who's already spent thousands of pounds on premium hardware, who likes the best of the best, a fast CPU, a fast GPU, a premium case, a good-looking liquid cooling kit, will the extra £100 of the Dominator Platinum RGB modules be worthwhile from a value perspective? Maybe. Maybe if you're spending that £100 to upgrade your already premium, good-looking system to have what is, in my opinion, the best-looking, best-designed set of memory on the market in there, maybe that's worthwhile to that type of user. So clearly, not for everybody, very, very high price, but good performance, reasonable overclocking from our quick testing, and a design and overall styling that is just faultless as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely faultless. I like these modules. Expensive. Would I buy them myself? I don't know, maybe if I got a bonus 1 month, but yeah, certainly very, very premium. So I've been Luke Hill for Kit Guru. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think in the comments section down below. Would you be willing to spend the extra on this showpiece set of memory, hoping that the underlying chips are better through Corsair's screening process? Or would you just like to show off to your friends and have the premium memory in your system? What is, as far as I'm concerned, the most premium set of memory on the market? And let us know in the comment section down below if you disagree. If there's a more premium set of memory, if you like the design of the G.Skill modules or some other Crucial modules or some competitors' memory better, let us know in the comment section down below. Could Corsair do anything better? Let us know. So if you like this video, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, head on over to the main Kit Guru website where you can see the written review, and that really helps us out. Also, if you want to help us out a bit more, you can check out our Patreon page and buy a cool t-shirt like this from our merch store. See you in the next one.